10 counties in the United States with the highest Muslim populations. Various research institutions predict that the number of Muslims will continue to increase in Europe and the United States, US. The results of the study remind us of the words of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, narrated by Imam Abu Dawud, that the number of Muslims will be large but like foam in a puddle. In several states and regions in the US, Muslims are also increasing in number. Here are the 10 regions in America with the largest Muslim populations, quoted from the Yahoo Finance page, published in January 2024. 10. North Carolina. Muslim population, percentage, 1.3%. Total Muslim population, 130,661. The Muslim community in North Carolina is diverse, including people from countries such as Pakistan, Somalia, and Bangladesh, as well as those who have converted to Islam. The state has many mosques that serve as places of worship and community activities for Muslims. The first mosque, built more than 65 years ago, is a testament to the long history of Muslims in North Carolina. Because of the large number of Muslims living in North Carolina, universities located in the state, including Duke University and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, have developed specialized academic programs in Islamic studies. The roots of Islam in North Carolina, as with much of America, are intricate and multifaceted, stretching back several centuries. Although the Muslim population remained relatively small for most of North Carolina's history, it has grown significantly in recent decades, contributing to the religious and cultural diversity of the state. The early Muslim presence. Tracing the early history of Islam in North Carolina is challenging due to the scarcity of historical records. However, there is evidence that suggests the presence of Muslims among the enslaved Africans brought to the American colonies in the 17th and 18th centuries. Many of these individuals were forcibly converted to Christianity, but some managed to secretly maintain their Islamic faith and traditions. Their stories are a testament to the resilience of faith in the face of unimaginable hardship. Growth in the 20th century. The Muslim presence in North Carolina began to grow more significantly in the mid-20th century. The increase in immigration from Muslim-majority countries following the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 brought more Muslims to the state. Additionally, the civil rights movement and the growth of the Nation of Islam attracted African-American converts. The first mosque in North Carolina, the Islamic Center of Raleigh, was established in 1981. This marked a significant milestone in the history of Islam in the state, providing a much-needed religious and cultural center for the growing Muslim community. Islam in North Carolina today. Today, North Carolina is home to a vibrant and diverse Muslim population. According to the Pew Research Center, there were approximately 26,000 Muslims in North Carolina in 2010, making up roughly 0.3% of the state's population. This number has likely grown in the past decade. There are now several mosques and Islamic centers throughout the state, serving communities in Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, and other cities. These institutions offer religious services, educational programs, and community events, fostering a sense of unity and camaraderie among Muslims in North Carolina. Muslims in North Carolina come from various ethnic and national backgrounds, including South Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and the United States. This diversity is reflected in the various traditions, practices, and interpretations of Islam found in the state. The presence of Muslims in North Carolina has also led to the development of academic programs focused on Islamic studies. Institutions like Duke University and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill offer courses in Islamic history, culture, and theology, contributing to a broader understanding of Islam in the state and country. Challenges and contributions. Like many other Muslims in the United States, Muslim communities in North Carolina have faced challenges related to Islamophobia and discrimination, particularly after the events of September 11, 2001. Despite these obstacles, they have remained resilient, contributing significantly to North Carolina's social, economic, and cultural fabric. Muslims in North Carolina are doctors, teachers, engineers, entrepreneurs, artists, and public servants. They've played pivotal roles in enhancing the state's healthcare, education, technology, and arts and culture sectors. Muslim-led initiatives such as food drives, health clinics, and interfaith dialogues have also been instrumental in addressing social issues and fostering community cohesion. It's also worth noting that North Carolina has become a focal point for important discussions about Islam in America. The tragic 2015 shooting of 3 young Muslims in Chapel Hill sparked nationwide conversations about hate crimes and Islamophobia, leading to increased efforts to promote understanding and acceptance of the state's Muslim population. Looking forward, the future of Islam in North Carolina is as diverse and dynamic as the community itself. With the continued growth and evolution of the Muslim population, their cultural and religious influence is likely to deepen. As a result, the state's understanding and acceptance of Islam will continue to grow. The history of Islam in North Carolina is a testament to the resilience, diversity, and contributions of the Muslim community. From the early presence of enslaved African Muslims to the thriving communities of today, Muslims have been and continue to be an integral part of North Carolina's rich tapestry. This history is not just a part of the Muslim narrative, but also a part of the broader American story, underscoring the nation's commitment to religious freedom and cultural diversity. In conclusion, the history of Islam in North Carolina serves as a microcosm of the American Muslim experience. It tells a story of resilience, diversity, and community, shedding light on the significant role that Muslims have played and continue to play in shaping the cultural, social, and religious landscape of the state. Devate, Arizona. Muslim population percentage, 1.5%. Total Muslim population, 109,765. In recent years, Arizona's Muslim population has grown rapidly due to immigration and conversion. Arizona's Muslim community is quite diverse, with residents coming from South Asian, Southeast Asian, and African countries. Muslims in Arizona have also become more involved in civic and political activities in the past decade. The state's growing Muslim population has led to the establishment of several mosques and Islamic centers, including the Islamic Community Center of Phoenix, ICCP, and the Tempe Mosque. Introduction. Arizona, a state known for its diverse landscapes and vibrant communities, has a rich and fascinating history of Islamic presence. Islam's roots in Arizona can be traced back to early Arab and Muslim immigrants who settled in the region during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This article explores the historical journey of Islam in Arizona, highlighting its contributions, challenges, and the vibrant Muslim community that calls the state home. Early Muslim presence. The history of Islam in Arizona dates back to the late 1800s when Arab and Muslim immigrants began arriving in the region. Many of these immigrants were predominantly from Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine, seeking new economic opportunities in America. These early pioneers established businesses, such as grocery stores and restaurants, and played a vital role in the development of Arizona's economy. The birth of Islamic institutions. Arizona is home to a number of mosques which serve the state's Muslim community. Here are some of the notable ones. 1. Islamic Community Center of Tempe. Also known as the Tempe Mosque, it is one of the oldest mosques in Arizona. It provides a variety of religious services, educational programs, and community outreach activities. 2. Islamic Center of Tucson. Located in Tucson, this mosque is an important center for the Muslim community, providing a place for prayers, Islamic education, and community events. 3. Islamic Center of Northeast Phoenix. This mosque is located in Phoenix and serves the local Muslim community with regular prayer services and educational programs. 4. Islamic Community Center of Phoenix. This large mosque offers prayer services, educational programs, and a variety of community events. 5. Islamic Center of the East Valley. Located in Chandler, this mosque serves the East Valley community, offering prayer services, Islamic classes, and community outreach programs. 6. Muslim Community Mosque. This is one of the main mosques in Phoenix and provides a place for worship and community gatherings. 7. United Islamic Center of Arizona. Located in Glendale, This center provides a place for worship, education, and community services to Muslims in the area. These mosques not only provide places for worship and prayer, but also serve as community centers promoting understanding and education about Islam. Arizona is also home to several Islamic schools that provide Muslim students with an education rooted in Islamic teachings and values. Here are a few notable Islamic schools in Arizona. 1. Arizona Cultural Academy, located in Phoenix. The Arizona Cultural Academy is a private Islamic school that offers education from pre-kindergarten to 12th grade. The school follows a comprehensive curriculum that includes both secular subjects and Islamic studies. It aims to provide students with a strong academic foundation while fostering a love for Islam and Islamic values. Second Islamic Community Center of Tempe, ICCT. School, situated in Tempe, the ICCT school is an Islamic school that offers education from pre-kindergarten to 8th grade. The school focuses on providing a balanced education that integrates Islamic teachings with a rigorous academic curriculum. It aims to develop students who are knowledgeable about their faith, academically competent, and socially responsible. 3. Sunrise Preschools, Islamic School. Located in Tucson, the Sunrise Preschools Islamic School provides early childhood education and care for children from infancy to 5 years old. The school incorporates Islamic values and teachings into its curriculum, creating an environment where young children can develop a strong foundation in both Islamic knowledge and academic skills. These Islamic schools in Arizona provide an education that integrates Islamic teachings and values with academic excellence. They aim to foster a strong Muslim identity, instill moral values, and prepare students to succeed academically and contribute positively to society. Demographic shifts and cultural exchange. In recent decades, the Muslim community in Arizona has experienced significant growth due to both immigration and conversion. Muslim immigrants from countries such as Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Yemen have settled in Arizona, bringing with them their rich cultural traditions and diverse perspectives. This influx has contributed to the multicultural fabric of the state and fostered cross-cultural understanding and exchange. Interfaith dialogue and community engagement. The Muslim community in Arizona actively engages in interfaith dialogue and community outreach to build bridges of understanding and promote harmony among diverse religious communities. Organizations such as the Islamic Speakers Bureau of Arizona and the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR Arizona chapter, work tirelessly to educate the public about Islam, dispel stereotypes, and foster a more inclusive society. Challenges and resilience. Like Muslim communities across the United States, the Muslim community in Arizona has faced challenges, particularly in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. Islamophobia and discrimination have posed significant hurdles, but Arizona's Muslim community has shown resilience, actively working to counter prejudice through education, community involvement, and public awareness campaigns. Muslim individuals and organizations have partnered with other religious and community groups to promote understanding and combat hate. Looking ahead, Arizona's Muslim community has made significant contributions to the state's social, cultural, and economic fabric. Muslim doctors, engineers, educators, entrepreneurs, and artists have enriched Arizona's workforce and cultural scene. They actively participate in various sectors, contributing to the state's growth and development. In addition, the Muslim community in Arizona is known for its philanthropy and community service. Muslim organizations and individuals are involved in various charitable initiatives, including food drives, clothing donations, and healthcare programs, to uplift and support those in need. Their commitment to giving back to the community exemplifies the Islamic values of compassion and social justice. Arizona also hosts numerous cultural events and celebrations organized by the Muslim community, offering an opportunity for Arizonans of all backgrounds to learn about and experience the rich traditions and diversity of Islamic culture. Furthermore, Islamic educational institutions such as the Islamic Community Center of Phoenix and Al Huda Islamic School, provide quality education to Muslim children, teaching them Islamic values alongside academic subjects. These institutions play a crucial role in preserving Islamic heritage and nurturing the next generation of Muslim leaders, scholars, and professionals. 8. Massachusetts. Muslim population percentage 1.9%. Muslim population 131,749. In Massachusetts, most Muslims live in the greater Boston area, where you can find numerous mosques, Islamic schools, and community organizations. Notable mosques and Muslim community centers in Massachusetts include the Islamic Center of New England, ICNE, the Islamic Society of Greater Worcester, ISGW, and the Muslim American Community Center of Lexington, MACCL. These organizations not only provide a place of worship for Muslims in the area, but also spread Islamic education and host social events for the community. Massachusetts is ranked 8th in the list of states with the highest Muslim population in the U.S. Islam and Muslims have a rich history in Boston, Massachusetts, and the city has been home to a diverse group of Muslim immigrants from a variety of backgrounds. Boston's Muslim population has grown significantly over the years, with many immigrants coming from Arab countries such as Egypt, Lebanon, and Palestine, as well as from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Somalia. As of 2021, there are an estimated 100,000 Muslims in the Boston area. One of Boston's leading Islamic institutions is the Islamic Society of Boston, founded in 1981. ISB has 2 locations, one in Cambridge and one in Roxbury. The society has a large mosque that can accommodate hundreds of worshipers, as well as several classrooms for religious education and community activities. ISB is also involved in interfaith initiatives and provides a variety of social services to the community's Muslim community. Another important Islamic institution in Boston is the Islamic Center of Boston in Wayland. The center is part of the Islamic Society of Boston Cultural Center and serves as a hub for Islamic activities in the area. The center has a large mosque, a community hall, and classrooms for religious education. The ISBCC also operates a community center that offers a variety of services to Muslims and non-Muslims. Other well-known Islamic centers in the Boston area include the Islamic Society of Greater Lowell, the Islamic Society of the North Shore, and the Islamic Society of Boston University. These centers provide prayer services, religious education, and community events for Muslims in their respective areas. Boston's Muslim community is diverse and reflects the many ethnic and cultural backgrounds of its members. Arab Americans make up a significant portion of Boston's Muslim population, and many have lived in the United States for generations. The Palestinian American community, in particular, has a rich history in the Boston area and has made significant contributions to the city's culture and economy. South Asians, particularly from Pakistan and Bangladesh, have also made significant contributions to Boston's Muslim community. They have established several Islamic centers and mosques, including the Islamic Society of Boston Cultural Center in Wayland. The Somali community in Boston is also growing and has established the Somali Community and Cultural Association, which provides a variety of services and activities for the Somali community in the Boston area. In recent years, Boston's Muslim community has faced several challenges. In 2013, the Boston Marathon bombings, carried out by 2 Muslim brothers, increased scrutiny of the Muslim community in the area. However, the Muslim community responded with resilience and continued to build bridges with other communities in Boston. In conclusion, the Muslim community in Boston is a diverse and vibrant one that has made significant contributions to the city's culture and economy. The city is home to several Islamic centers and mosques that provide religious and community services to Muslims in the area. While the community has faced challenges in recent years, it remains an important part of the fabric of Boston and continues to work to build a better future for all its members. Seven, Minnesota. Muslim population percentage, 2%. Total Muslim population, 114,590. Coming from countries as diverse as Bosnia, Somalia, and Iraq, Muslims in Minnesota contribute to the state's rich cultural diversity. The community includes Muslims not only from different cultures and backgrounds, but also from different sects. As such, there are many mosques and community centers in Minnesota that cater to a variety of cultural needs. Among them are the Dar al-Hijra Mosque in Minneapolis, the Islamic Community Center of Minnesota, ICCM, and Emmis, Minnesota. Muslims have called Minnesota home since at least the 1880s. During the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th, Muslim immigrants from the Ottoman Empire settled in the Midwest, including Minnesota. This continued until the 1920s, when racially restrictive immigration laws curtailed immigration from non-European countries. From the 1920s until the 1990s, Minnesota's Muslim population reflected national trends. African Americans began converting to Islam in earnest in the 1920s with the Moorish Science Temple and the Nation of Islam. A major shift in the U.S. Muslim population occurred after the immigration reforms of 1965, which opened the door to greater immigration from around the world, including many Muslim-majority areas. Especially significant is the immigration of Muslims from countries in the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. With the new rules privileging those with certain education or skills, many of the immigrants of this wave were highly educated and faced less economic precarity than those immigrants who began coming in the 1990s. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, in the wake of civil wars in places like Bosnia, Herzegovina, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, and Sudan, more Muslims have arrived in the U.S. as refugees. Minnesota has a long history of welcoming refugees, largely due to its robust social service and voluntary resettlement agencies. For more, see a warmer welcome in a colder state. Due to this, the composition of Minnesota's Muslim population does not reflect national trends, with the Somali Muslim community making up a larger portion than in the country as a whole. Although the size of the Somali community in Minnesota is difficult to determine, estimates place it somewhere between 40 and 70,000. Estimates vary on the size of the Somali community, depending, for example, on whether Somali Americans born in the U.S. are included. In 2017, it was estimated that there were close to 74,000 Somali speakers in Minnesota. The largest concentration of Somalis live in the Twin Cities area, although there are significant communities in smaller industrial cities, including St. Cloud, Rochester, and Faribault. Estimates place the total Muslim population of Minnesota in 2020 at about 140,000 people. Muslims in Minnesota are a diverse group that includes recent immigrants and those already established in Minnesota, and they represent a variety of racial, ethnic, and national backgrounds. The increasing visibility of Muslims in Minnesota, and particularly Somali Muslims in Minnesota, was highlighted in spring 2020 with a public call to prayer during Ramadan. The call to prayer was broadcast from the Dar al-Hijra Mosque in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood of Minneapolis, which is considered to be the densest concentration of Somalis in the U.S. This was the first time such a public call to prayer occurred in Minnesota. Imam Sharif Muhammad of Dar al-Hijra Mosque stressed the importance of the public call to prayer since the COVID-19 pandemic prevented them from gathering in person. He stated, "This is a reconnection, a calming to give people assurance that we are with you." The public call to prayer was broadcast 5 times a day for 4 weeks. As of August 2020, there were at least 76 mosques in Minnesota, numerous Islamic schools and community centers. Minnesota's Muslim community has been extremely active in both national and local politics. Minnesota is famously home to the first Muslim congressman, Keith Ellison, who began serving as the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota in 2019, and to the first Somali Muslim congressperson, Ilhan Omar. Minnesota also has one of the most active chapters of the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAR, in the United States, whose mission is to enhance the understanding of Islam, encourage dialogue, protect civil liberties, empower American Muslims, and build coalitions that promote justice and mutual understanding. In addition to this politically active community, Minnesota is home to a rich community of Muslim musicians, writers, and artists. Brother Ali is a well-known Muslim rapper and community activist from Minneapolis. There is also a growing queer Muslim community. In 2017, the Minnesota Caravan of Love sponsored an iftar event, the celebratory meal breaking the daily fast during Ramadan for LGBT Muslims. Since then, they have continued to sponsor events for Pride, Ramadan, and Eid through the creation of Masjid al-Hub, Masjid of Love, an inclusive community space for Muslims who are traditionally marginalized communities. Sixth, Virginia. Muslim population percentage, 2%. Muslim population, 169,371. The number of Muslims in Virginia increased in the 20th century, especially after immigration from Bosnia and Herzegovina in the 1990s. With the growth of the Muslim community in Virginia, several mosques and Muslim cultural centers were built throughout the state. Virginia's proximity to Washington, D.C. has attracted many Muslim immigrants to the state. Notable mosques and cultural centers in Virginia include the Dar al-Noor Islamic Community Center in Manassas, the Al-Dulles Area Muslim Society, Adams in Sterling, and the Islamic Society of Greater Richmond, ISGR. The growing Muslim population in the U.S. has also led to increased demand for popular halal dividend stocks such as ExxonMobil Corporation, NYSE-XOM, AbbVie Inc., NYSE, a BBV, and Medtronic plc, NYSE MDT. There are an estimated 200,000 Muslims in Virginia in the United States as of 2008, according to the American Religious Identification Survey. As of 2014, Virginia has the fourth highest Islamic population concentration in the United States. History. In the 1760s, future governor of Virginia and U.S. President Thomas Jefferson purchased an English translation of the Quran while studying law. At the time, Muslims were alluded to in Virginia as Mohammedans. And while an estimated 20% of enslaved Africans were Muslim, much of Virginia's citizenry at the time did not acknowledge that Muslims existed in America. 3 years after the end of the Revolutionary War, Thomas Jefferson's 1779 Bill for Establishing Religious Freedom was passed by the Virginia General Assembly and became law in 1786. The new law guaranteed freedom of religion to people of all religious faiths, including Muslims. Virginia resident and first U.S. President George Washington suggested for Muslims to obtain proper relief from a proposed Virginia bill that would levy taxes to subsidize Christian worship in the state. On another occasion, Washington declared that he would welcome Mohammedans to his Virginia Mount Vernon estate if they were good workmen. Research indicates that some of Mount Vernon's enslaved workers in Virginia were practicing Muslims and adhered to Islamic tradition. While president, Thomas Jefferson also participated in an iftar with the ambassador of Tunisia at his Virginia Monticello estate in 1809. Beginning in the 20th century, Muslims have been a rapidly growing religious group throughout the state through immigration and remain a major driver of Virginia's religious diversity. By the 1950s, some Muslims in Virginia became affiliated with the Nation of Islam, a Black-oriented form of Islam. Virginia has had many Muslim service members and veterans. By the 1970s, a cohort of the first Muslim cadets graduated from the Virginia Military Institute. In the late 1970s, U.S. Marine Douglas Burpee was accepted into the Officers Candidates School in Quantico, Virginia. By the end of his military service, Colonel Burpee was the highest-ranking Muslim in the U.S. Marine Corps. In 1992, Sharifa Al-Khatib founded the North American Council for Muslim Women in Fairfax, Virginia, and served as its first president. The organization was the first national organization of American Muslim women. The Al-Madina School of Richmond opened in 1998. A private school in Chesterfield County, Virginia, it is the only Islamic school in the Richmond area. In 1998, there was widely publicized controversy over a proposal from the Saudi government to build the Islamic Saudi Academy in Ashburn, Virginia. The Loudoun County Board of Supervisors eventually voted 7-2 to approve the construction of the school. The original academy closed in June 2016, and the new King Abdullah Academy near Herndon opened in the fall of 2016. As of the 2000s, Virginia is home to an estimated 200,000 Muslims, the majority of whom are concentrated in Northern Virginia and the Washington metropolitan area. Virginia is home to numerous Islamic centers, private schools, preschool, elementary, middle, high school, and mosques throughout the state. In 2000, the Peaceful Families Project was established in Northern Virginia and is among the first Muslim organizations working to end domestic violence in Muslim families and communities. In 2004, federal agents raided the Alexandria, Virginia satellite office of the World Assembly of Muslim Youth, long suspected of terrorism by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. After the raid, the organization strongly denied any ties to terrorism and stated that the government had told them the probe was focused solely on immigration issues. The office was later permanently closed by order of the U.S. government. In 2004, University of Virginia graduate Humayun Khan of the U.S. Army's 201st Forward Support Battalion, 1st Infantry Division was killed by a car bomb, saving the lives of his fellow soldiers. Khan's parents, Khizr and Ghazala Khan of Charlottesville, Virginia, later gained wide public recognition as a Muslim Gold Star family, as they publicly addressed the immigration policies of President Donald Trump at the Democratic National Convention in 2016. In 2007, the Islamic Center of Richmond was established as a 501c3 nonprofit organization with a mission to organize religious, educational, and charitable activities for the benefit of the Muslim community in Virginia. By percentage of the total population of counties or independent cities, Emporia, Virginia was reporting having the highest population of Muslims in the United States as of the 2010 census, with 28.99% of city residents being practicing Muslims. The University of Virginia also has an Islamic Studies program within its Department of Religious Studies, which is focused on the advanced study of Islamic intellectual history spanning 1,500 years, with an emphasis on the medieval and early modern philosophical and religious traditions. In 2014, Sam Rasool was elected as the first Muslim member of the Virginia General Assembly, representing District 11 in the Virginia House of Delegates. The 2017 murder of Nabra Hassanin brought concerns regarding Islamophobia in Virginia to the forefront, with many asserting it to be an anti-Muslim hate crime. Fairfax County Police Chief Edwin Roessler Jr. told the media that they had absolutely no evidence that the killing of Hassanin was a hate crime, but members of Hassanin's community have questioned this conclusion. In the 2019 Virginia Senate election, Ghazala Hashmi was elected to represent Virginia's 10th Senate District, defeating incumbent Glenn Sturtevant. She became the first Muslim elected to the Senate of Virginia. She was sworn into office on January 8, 2020. In the same election, Ibrahim Samira was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates, becoming its second Muslim member. In June 2020, Qasim Rashid was the first Muslim ever to win a congressional primary in Virginia, becoming the Democratic nominee for Virginia's first congressional district in the 2020 election. In 2022, Governor of Virginia Glenn Youngkin visited a vandalized mosque on Eid al-Fitr to condemn anti-Muslim acts of violence and commit to partnership and further religious tolerance. He stated, "This is a moment for us to recognize across Virginia that there is no place for religious persecution. There is no place for us to condemn people because of their faith. America was in fact founded on a basic principle of being able to express your religious beliefs." Sinkiem, Michigan. Muslim population percentage, 2.4%. Muslim population, 241,828. Michigan attracted many Muslim immigrants towards the end of the 20th century. The largest ethnic group among Muslims in Michigan is Arab. The first mosque in Michigan was established in Detroit. Today, there are many mosques in the state, including the Islamic Center of America, ICA, in Dearborn, the Yemeni American Community Center, YACC, in Dearborn, and the Islamic House of Wisdom, IHW, in Ann Arbor. Islam is the third largest religion in the United States, and Detroit, Michigan is home to a growing Muslim population. Muslims have lived in Detroit for more than a century, and today the city is home to a diverse Muslim community that includes Arabs, Pakistanis, and other Muslim immigrants. The majority of Muslims in Detroit are of Arab descent, with Lebanese and Yemeni being the largest ethnic groups. Arab Muslims first began settling in Detroit in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, attracted by the city's booming automobile industry. Many of these early immigrants were Christians, but over time they were joined by Muslims, who established mosques and Islamic centers to serve their growing community. Today, the Islamic Center of America is one of the largest and most prominent mosques in Detroit. Located in the suburb of Dearborn, it is one of the largest mosques in North America, with a capacity of up to 3,000 worshipers. The mosque was founded in 1963 and has since become a cultural and religious center for Muslims in the Detroit area. Another prominent mosque in the Detroit area is the Muslim Unity Center, located in the suburb of Bloomfield Hills. The center was founded in 1993 and has since become a hub for the local Muslim community. In addition to these large variety of programs, there are also many smaller mosques, including religious education throughout the Detroit community area. Outreach. These include the Islamic Center of Detroit, the Islamic Center of Albania, and the Islamic Association of Greater Detroit, among others. While Arab Muslims make up the majority of Detroit's Muslim population, there is also a significant Pakistani community. The largest mosque serving this community is the Islamic Center of Michigan, located in the suburb of Farmington Hills. The mosque was founded in 1980 and has since become a center of religious and cultural activity for the Pakistani community in the Detroit area. Other Islamic communities in Detroit include African American Muslims, who have a long history in the city dating back to the early 20th century. The Muslim Center of Detroit is one of the oldest African American mosques in the country and has served the community for more than 90 years. In recent years, Detroit has also seen an influx of refugees from Muslim-majority countries, including Syria, Iraq, and Somalia. These refugees have formed their own communities and have been welcomed by the broader Muslim community in Detroit. Overall, Muslims in Detroit have become an integral part of the fabric of the city. They have built their own communities, businesses, and cultural institutions, and have contributed to the city's diversity and growth. Today, the Muslim community in Detroit is thriving, and its members continue to make valuable contributions to the city and American society as a whole. Court, Maryland. Muslim population percentage, 3.1%. Muslim population, 188,914. Maryland's Muslim population grew rapidly in the second half of the 20th century due to immigration from various countries, especially Pakistan and Bangladesh. Today, the community represents a mix of races, ethnicities, and sects. Furthermore, the state is dotted with mosques and Islamic centers that serve as places of worship, education, and community activities. Some of these include the Islamic Society of Baltimore, ISB, the Muslim Community Center, MCC, and the Islamic Center of Maryland, ICOM. There are around 70,000 Muslims in Maryland in the United States as of December 1992, according to the American Muslim Council. This is the 10th highest number of Muslims of all U.S. states, representing 1.4% of the Muslim population in the country, as well as 1.4% of the total population of Maryland at the time of the report. In 1947, following the release of Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad from prison, that a Nation of Islam mosque was established in Baltimore on Ensor Street. Nation of Islam, a black-oriented form of Islam, separate from mainstream Islam, had been founded in Michigan in 1930. The mosque grew quickly in the 1950s, late 1940s, and early 1950s, outgrowing its space and moving multiple times, before moving to its current location at 514 Wilson Street in the late 1950s. It was designated Temple Number. On June 26, 1960, Elijah Muhammad spoke to over 1,000 people during a visit. The mosque served 3,000 local members at the time. Following the death of Elijah Muhammad in 1975, the Nation of Islam transitioned to Sunni Islam, and in accordance, the mosque was renamed to Masjid Muhammad, and renovations were made. The influence of the mosque resulted in Baltimore Mayor Kurt Schmoke renaming Wilson Street to Islamic Way and naming May 7th Islamic Community Day in 1989. The mosque was later renamed to Masjid al-Haq, its current name, in 1994. Another early mosque was Masjid as-Safat, founded in Baltimore in 1971. It is home to the Islamic Community School, established in 1977 by a group of Muslim women to provide an Islamic education for their children. The Islamic Society of Baltimore, originating in 1969 as a weekly congregation at Johns Hopkins University, constructed a mosque in 1982, Masjid al-Rahma, and opened the Al-Rahma School in 1987. The number of Muslims in Baltimore and its suburbs around this time was estimated to be 3,000 to 5,000, with higher estimates being up to 15,000, as well as 40,000 Muslims in the Baltimore-Washington region. A 2001 estimate placed the number of Muslims in Maryland at 50,000. In 2000, the Islamic Society of Frederick planned the construction of a mosque along with a Muslim cemetery, which would be the first mosque in Frederick County and the first Muslim cemetery in Maryland. The land they wanted to build the mosque on, however, was off limits for development, and their appeal to the county commissioners to connect to the county water and sewer lines, which saw over 200 Muslim families present, was met with a tie vote, barring their ability to build a mosque. On March 5, 2016, the Gwynn Oak Islamic Community, consisting of around 60 families in the Howard Park Gwynn Oak communities in Baltimore, opened Masjid al-Ihsan. The construction of the mosque was a 6-year endeavor due to city zoning rules and building regulations. It is the first mosque built from the ground up in Baltimore. On April 15 to 16, 2017, 20,000 Muslims attended the 42nd annual Iqne Mass Convention at the Baltimore Convention Center, which had been held in Baltimore since 2015. Many sessions addressed Islamophobia, such as combating Islamophobia, asserting your rights under Trump presidency, and working through challenging times. Three, New Jersey, Muslim population percentage, 3.5%. Muslim population, 321,652. New Jersey is home to a large number of Muslim immigrants. New Jersey's diverse Muslim community includes Asians, Arabs, and African Americans. After the establishment of the first mosque in New Jersey in the early 20th century, many more mosques were established throughout the state. Prominent mosques and centers include the Islamic Society of Central Jersey, ISCJ, the Islamic Organization of North America, IONA, and the Al-Noor Patterson Mosque. New Jersey Muslims wait for mosque after 40 years. 40 years seems like a long time to achieve a dream. That may be why the Muslim community in New Jersey is filled with joy as they put the finishing touches on their long-awaited mosque. I think the presence of this building is a manifestation of the presence of a community dream, said Jersey City-based Muslim Federation of New Jersey President Arshad Chatha. Currently, workers are completing the dome and fence of the mosque. As it does so, local Muslims are celebrating the moment that took decades to complete this house of worship. For years, the thriving Muslim community prayed in a converted Chinese restaurant and bar. With the mosque, they have a 3-story prayer room with a green dome that gleams in the sunlight on the site. When people walk by, they see this is a mosque, so it takes up space, said longtime community member at the Bayonne Mosque and Communications Director for the Council on American Islamic Relations, CIR, Dina Syed Ahmed. He considered the presence of the worship building as an important thing to do. So far, local Muslims have had to perform their worship in mosques located in church basements, above storage facilities, or above apartments. Based on existing calculations, the construction of this mosque will be completed in September or October. The large house of worship will be able to accommodate more than 2,000 people at once. One Muslim in New Jersey, Saad Mani, believes the new building will motivate young Muslims to join the youth program. If everyone would think about how much the parents contributed, it is truly amazing because they are immigrants. They came here, built a mosque in difficult times, and have mobilized the community to build a mosque, which has a specific purpose. It is truly extraordinary, Admani said. The mosque is the heart of the Muslim community, standing strong as a physical example of the Islamic faith. The building serves for prayer, events during Ramadan, and as a center for education and information. Its presence can also be used as a place for social welfare. Second, New York. Muslim population percentage, 3.6%. Muslim population, 724,475. New York has the largest total Muslim population in the United States. It is a cosmopolitan state with a diverse population. There are large Muslim communities in cities such as New York City and Buffalo. Many Muslims came to New York in the 1980s and 1990s as refugees or green card recipients. Many of these Muslims come from the Middle East, South Asia, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The state is home to several mosques and Muslim community centers, such as the Islamic Cultural Center of New York, ACCNY, and the Malcolm Shabazz Mosque. In fact, Greater New York City has the largest number of mosques in the country. Islam is the third most widely professed religion in New York City after Christianity and Judaism. A 2018 study estimated that there are over 750,000 Muslims living in New York City, the largest population of Muslims by city in the United States. Approximately 9% of New York City residents are Muslim, constituting 22.3% of American Muslims, with 1.5 million Muslims in the Greater New York metropolitan area, representing the largest metropolitan Muslim population in the Americas, and the most ethnically diverse Muslim population of any city in the world. The history of Islam in New York City can be traced back to the 17th century with the foundation of the New Amsterdam colony. The first Muslim settler was most likely the Dutch North African merchant Anthony Janssen van Saleh, known by contemporaries as Anthony the Turk. He is recorded as owning a Quran, which was supposedly auctioned off in the late 19th century. Sheikh Daud would later set up the Islamic Mission of America in Brooklyn Heights in 1939. Known today as the State Street Mosque or Masjid Dawood, the institution is the second oldest operating mosque in the city. New York was Malcolm X's base for several years, before his assassination in the Washington Heights section of Manhattan in 1965. Following the death of Elijah Muhammad in 1975, the vast majority of Nation of Islam adherents in the city converted to mainstream Sunni Islam, guided by Imam Warith Deen Muhammad. The passing of the Hart-Celler Act in 1965 opened the way for a rapid growth of immigration into the United States from several Muslim-majority countries. Prior to this moment, immigration had been severely restricted by ethnic quotas. Beginning most notably during the 1970s, a wave of Muslims from Asia and Africa began arriving into New York City. The majority of current Muslim residents trace their history in the city to this wave. In the 1980s and 1990s, the city began receiving Muslim refugees from war-torn areas of the world, as well as green card lottery recipients from countries such as Bangladesh and the new Central Asian republics. Through skilled employment visas and family reunification programs, immigration also increased from countries such as Pakistan, Senegal, Ghana, Guyana, Egypt, Palestine, and Yemen. Most of these new immigrants settled in the outer boroughs, in neighborhoods such as Bay Ridge, Jackson Heights, Midwood, Astoria, Boerum Hill, and the West Bronx. Alongside other foreign-born residents, they would play a key role in reviving the city's fortunes following the crisis years of the 1970s. As of 2024, a significant new wave of Chinese Uyghur Muslims is fleeing religious persecution in northwestern China's Xinjiang province and seeking religious freedom in New York, concentrating in Queens. It is possible that a small minority of enslaved West African and Madagascan Muslims lived in the city through to the 19th century, although evidence remains anecdotal and is based on assumptions around the names and regions of origin of various enslaved individuals. As with other parts of the United States, small-scale Muslim migration to New York began in the 1840s, with the arrival of Yemenis and Turks, as well as Bengali and Levantine sailors and merchants, and lasted until World War I. In 1907, Lipka Tatar immigrants from the Podlasie region of Poland founded the first Muslim organization in New York City, the American Mohammedan Society. In 1931, they founded the Powers Street Mosque in Williamsburg, making it the oldest continuously operating mosque in the city. Following the Great Migration in the 1850s, early 20th century, New York City emerged as a center of African American Islam, in significant part through the Moorish Science Temple of America and the Nation of Islam. In 1904, a Sudani imam by the name of Sati Majid traveled to New York, taking up caretaking duties for the small population of South Asian and Arab Muslims residing in the 5 boroughs. Imam Majid played an influential role introducing large parts of the city to mainstream Sunni Islam. One of these people was Sheikh Daoud Faisal, a Grenadian-born revert who helped found the International Muslim Society in Harlem, which linked African American Muslims with their Somali, Yemeni, and South Asian co-religionists. First, Illinois. Muslim population percentage, 3.7%. Muslim population, 473,792. Illinois has the highest percentage of Muslim population in the United States. Chicago is a culturally diverse center with a significant concentration of Muslims. There are over 50 mosques in the Chicago area. Among the most prominent are Masjid Darul Islam in Bloomingdale and the Muslim Community Center, MCC, in Chicago. The community is made up of people from different cultures and ethnicities whose roots can be traced to South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East.